Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's angel reading, your messages for the week ahead. My name is Rachel Scoltock. I'm an angel medium. I'm an author, an energy therapist, a spiritual teacher, and today being Monday is the day that I do the regular angel reading for you. And this week is about raising your vibration for abundance. So I get lots of emails and messages on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And lots of people are asking me, especially because it's the beginning of the year and for some reason this year it seems to be really up, is people are asking me how they can not just create more abundance in their lives, but they're coming at it from a much more spiritual perspective. And lots of people they're asking me about raising their vibration, opening their intuition development. People are asking me how they can learn to manifest more easily and release the problems that they have. So I'm really noticing a shift in people. Maybe it's a shift in the people that are following me. Maybe it's just what is up at the moment, but it's really not just about money, although we are spiritual beings living a physical life. So we have to get our physical stuff sorted, and that's part of our existence on the planet, right? Is learning to overcome the material world, as in learning to master the material world, at the same time as developing yourself spiritually, because we know that we're not just physical beings. There's more to us than that. And so if we only focus on the material side of life, if we only focus on the abundance, on the physical relationships, on our image, our status, our body, then our life goes out of balance. And if we only focus on the spiritual side of life, then our physical life goes out of balance. So we have to find a balance in between. And what's wonderful about working with angels and working with spirit and learning about manifesting and intuition and your energy and how energy works, to really understand the laws of the universe, is that you are actually combining both of them. So you're learning the spiritual stuff, which is good for your soul and also makes life easier because you don't get so caught up in the mental entanglements. You know, anyone here, hey everyone, thanks for joining. Anyone here that's done a bit of spiritual work and you've gone through the process of releasing the barriers, the internal blocks, you know, searching and reviewing your ideas, your beliefs, your consciousness, and taking away the guilt and the fear and the negative prejudices that you might have. Hey, Jimmy from Dublin, welcome. Hey, Linda from Warhope, hi. Hey, Loretta. Anyone who's done any spiritual work out there, you know that when you start to do that work, you start to forgive the past and release. You start to understand more about yourself and how your mind works and how the world works. Everything starts to get easier. You carry less burdens on your shoulder. You become more radiant. You attract people towards you because you're glowing this healing energy. You manifest much more easily. And the stuff that used to bother you doesn't bother you quite so intensely anymore. So that you're much more, it's easier for you to rise above petty challenges, not get sucked into drama. It gets easier for you to manage the inevitable difficulties of life, like grief and loss and, going through changes. So, living a spiritual life is really, really super important to balancing your life. Hey, Kerry. But it's also important because it helps you with the material side of life. So I'm sort of combining a bit of that in today's angel message and helping you to do both. Is helping you to attract the abundance that you need, whatever that may look like, right? So your abundance might be to be able to work less and have a bit more money in the bank, or to go on holiday. Or it might be that you want to manifest a beautiful relationship, or you might want to create more opportunities, or even improve your health and your well-being. It all comes under the umbrella of abundance, because everything that is manifest physical in your life begins as thought, turns into or aligns with the correct energy, which is the abundance of divine source, and then it manifests. If you condition your mind, you align your energy, you let go of your internal barriers to these things, it then manifests into reality. And that's what manifesting is. It's making real. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Patricia, Stacy, and Tina. Hi, everyone who's here. Sorry if I missed a few of you jumped on earlier. Lauren and Andrea, Loretta, and Tyler, Nellie, Cheryl. Thanks all for being here. Sorry if I miss any of you. And please feel free to pop any questions up later on. So we're going to be working with the Angels of Abundance cards, and I've also brought out the Archangel Power Tarot cards because, you know, being in your power is something I speak about a lot, and it's what I work with my clients and in my healing retreats and immersions, is that we need to come into our power. We need to come back into feeling that we are connected to the divine and we are connected to our angels. And where we're in that place, we forget the negative thoughts, we forget the fear, we forget the trauma. We come into a present moment of alignment, because when we're in fear in our negative mind, or we are being, what would you say, like tossed around by other people's negativity, then we're not in our power. We've forgotten temporarily what our power is. And so when we're thinking like that, you know, whenever you go through a challenge, anything that happens today, and you start to feel like, oh, this is getting the better of me, you know, I don't feel good. I don't feel good about myself. I don't feel good. Then remember that those are thoughts of powerlessness. And all that you need to do is take a few deep breaths, center yourself. And when you center yourself, it literally means you come back into your center, your spiritual, physical, emotional, mental center, the center of being. When you center yourself, all that is attached to you through fear will dissolve in that moment. That's why being present is so important, because in this moment, right here and now, you're okay. And when you dissolve it, you actually start to take a baby step towards healing it. And it's that detachment that you can gain on a day-to-day basis, which will really, really help your life and help you to overcome challenges. So what I wanted to talk to you about is 3 different ways that you can raise your vibration into abundance, and using 3 F words. Now, of course, I'm not a big swearer. I do swear occasionally, but I'm not a big swearer. But they're not the swear words. They're not the F word that we know it. So the first F word, which is something that people really hate, so brace yourselves, is forgiveness. This is something that whenever I bring this up, often with people who come to me for healing, is that they will cringe a bit, like, oh, because we've got the wrong idea about that particular F word. Forgiveness is actually one of the main spiritual lessons that you have come here to learn. And it does not mean that you are letting someone off the hook, that you are letting people walk all over you, that you're going to, you know, hug the people that have hurt you, or that you have to sort of, it's not like a way of excusing bad behavior and then putting up with it again. It's actually a way to free yourself of negativity and pain. And it unlocks you, it releases you from the negative bonds that we humans form with people who have hurt us. So see forgiveness as more of a way of letting go, and then you'll see the benefit in it. And the benefit is, as an energy therapist, I see energy. I see the different forms of energy. And when we have not forgiven someone, we're holding resentment, we're holding hurt. Maybe it's betrayal, maybe it's cruelty, maybe it's abuse, maybe it's a lie or something like that. But we're holding resentment, hurt, and a grudge against another person. And that person may well be doing it in return, but that doesn't matter because that's not our concern. But that energy becomes an energetic bond, which makes it very, very difficult for you to break away from that situation. And your mind will always tell you what's in your energy field, because what's in your mind is in your energy field generally. So if there's someone that you haven't forgiven, then they will they will show up in your mind like a bad soap opera, you know, one of those where you listen to the music and you go, oh no, not this again. It will show up in your consciousness, especially if you're triggered in some way. So you might need to forgive someone who you really love, you know, that has hurt you in the past, or, you know, has a way of behaving that upsets you, and you actually want to stay in that relationship. It could be a parent, it could be a lover or a partner, a friend, a child. It doesn't matter. But if you want to keep that relationship and you value that relationship, or you're feeling confused about that relationship, then doing the energetic work to clear the bond of resentment will lift your vibration instantly and lift the vibration of the relationship. So it moves the stuff out of the way so you can actually decide what it is you feel about that other person and what you want, how you want your relationship to be. And it might be that once you've cleared the resentment, you might see, okay, we need better boundaries, or we need to communicate better, or whatever it is. But then there's another type of relationship, which is the sort of relationship you don't want in your life. So someone has bullied you or harmed you, abused you, or hurt you, and you've just gone, nah, I'm done. I don't want that person in my life. Either you want them out, or it's a relative that you might only see at Christmas, and you just go, yeah, but I'm not going to have anything to do with them. So when you clear the energy of unforgiveness and resentment, that doesn't mean that that relationship's going to come in and just start walking all over you again. It makes it easier to sever and gets them out of your head. It gets them out of your energy. So you're not thinking about them all the time. So you're not keeping them chained to you. And that's going to make you happier, because you can't raise your vibration if you're being anchored down into something that's toxic, painful, you know, that keeps you in the lower vibration of emotions. So if you think about emotions as being on a ladder, and the lower emotions are things like hatred, guilt, shame, blame, resentment, all of those things. You're trying to raise your vibration to attract more money, more happiness, more joy. You know that you have a soul purpose on the planet and you want to serve, but you just can't seem to get that going or to find out what that is. You can pretty much guarantee that unforgiveness is at the core of this. Now, I know I spoke about this a little bit last week. The angels are really pushing this at the moment because they know, hey Marilyn, thanks for joining us. They know that if you're on a spiritual path, that you don't want to come to the end of your life and say, I should have, or I wish I'd. And you also want to make sure that you're not holding on to these lower emotions, because they're going to keep you stuck and you're going to have to do it all again in another lifetime. So, you know, you're always going to have to sort of balance that up. So it's really important that you address forgiveness. And as I said before, it doesn't mean you have to change what your understanding of it. It doesn't mean that what the other person did was okay, or that you're going to have to, you know, be a doormat and be walked all over, or you're going to have to just sort of sit with your resentment and pretend to be nice to them. It's not that at all. It's literally a cleansing, a purification of your heart and energy and mind. And that's the single one thing that can be a massive barrier to the things that you want in your life. Now think about what your blocks might be to not forgiving. Just take a moment and go, why don't I want to forgive this person that's on my mind right now? What is it that's stopping me? Is it a fear of what could happen if I do forgive? Is it that you're waiting for them to get it? You want them to understand. You want them to see it from your point of view. So instead of letting go of your resentment, you're kind of battering them with it and saying, like, look at this, look at this, look at this. I want you to see it. Quite often people will not change, especially if we are trying to push them to. And quite often people need a huge awakening or some kind of soul shift in order to recognize when they've treated someone badly, if they're at that level. So it's not our job to convert them or change them or get them to see our point of view. It's actually our job is more likely that we have to learn from the situation and purify ourselves. And that sometimes can have a ripple effect and affect other people, but we can't be responsible for that. So think about what your blocks might be and type them into the feed there if something comes up for you, what your blocks might be to forgiving. Now, the angels are really powerful healers. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the love. The angels are really powerful healers, and they are pure, unconditional, divine love. That's what they carry. That's what they are. They're the thoughts of the divine. And so when you invoke the angels into a process like this, we are not meant to be doing this by ourselves, right? Anything that's hard, especially spiritual hard things that we have to wrap our heads around, the angels are there for that purpose. They are our helpers. And so, you know, give me the strength, give me the courage, give me the insight, and help me to let this go is a really powerful prayer for releasing unforgiveness and resentment. I would go so far to say that resentment is the number one thing that's holding the whole of humanity back. And if you think about that from the perspective of wars and bullying and, you know, all the things that affect us, we attack people from a place of defense. So if we feel defended about something, we tend to come over and attack others. You know, we judge, we resent, we send out bad vibes. And none of us really wants to do that. But the reason we do it is that we get stuck in this kind of cycle of not forgiving. And it ends up being like a bad apple in a barrel. It affects everything in your life. And I've lived this myself. And you know, I'm really conscious of my unforgiving thoughts. And we're not meant to be robotic, pure angels. We will have resentful thoughts. We feel it to heal it. But when we recognize it, we have to work to release it and let it go. And the angels are your best guides for that. Hey, Rosie, Martin, and Kathy, welcome. And Yana. So that was the first F. Now, the second F is following your intuition. So following your intuition is a way to raise your vibration for abundance, to receive more abundance. Because quite often, the steps to manifest what it is that you are wanting, whether it's more money or whatever it is, better health, will come to you through your intuition. And the angels talk to you through your intuitive channels. Now, everybody's a little bit different. Some people have vision, some people are sensitive, some people are more auditory. So you might receive your guidance in several different ways or just in one channel, but everybody's got a strength or when it comes to intuition. When I first started out, I was much more intuitively sensitive. It was, I could feel everything came to me through my feelings. But when I developed the other senses, it became more my vision, my clairvoyance that became my strongest, and the others kind of feed into that. But I will never stop being, you know, clairsentient, sensitive. So following and finding your intuition, your intuitive channel, will really help you with abundance, because it's a purifying step. So when you learn to tune into your intuition, you start to recognize the things that interfere with it. So, you know, too much caffeine, too much sugar, too much negative energy, watching horror movies or violent stuff, anything that affects your third eye will start to really bring your vibration down, and that will block your intuition. So it's really important to find your intuition and find out what it is that blocks it. But following your intuition is not dismissing that little voice when it tells you something. And hey Kathy, how many people, intuitive, sensitive people, also have a little bit of anxiety about and self-doubt? It's like, you know, should I really do that? Should I really leave this job to go looking for something better? Should I really call this person and find out if there's any opportunities available to me? Should I really put my book into the publisher? You tend to procrastinate on these things, and they will be, you know, angelic guidance comes one step at a time, and it aligns perfectly with your soul and your desire. So it really puts you in line. And what a lot of people are doing is sitting outside of that going, oh, I'm really praying for abundance, but I'm not prepared to follow that intuitive lead that I've had. I'm too scared. And that's why the third F is faith rather than fear. It's making sure that you eliminate those fears that are blocking you from moving forward. So what is blocking you from moving into the next step? Maybe you don't know what the next step is. Maybe you're not sure if you should trust it. Trust is a big one. So faith, forgiveness, and following your intuition are your 3 steps to creating abundance. And you really don't need anything else. That's really all you need, because if you've already asked, you've put it on your vision board, you've written out your intentions, you're really clear about what it is that you want, then the first step to go to is, all right, what barriers have I built up within me against this? How am I sabotaging this? How am I holding myself back? So you do the forgiveness, forgiving of yourself, forgiving of others, forgiving of past instances where you haven't had money or you've seemingly failed, which was really just a life lesson. And then the next step is, what's my intuition telling me? What is it that I have to do next in order to create the abundance? It's not going to land on my doorstep in a big bag. Well, unlikely anyway. And if it does, then there'll come a point in the future when another big bag is needed. And so, you know, you're part of the angelic, the way the angels help us isn't to take away our power. They don't say, okay, you just sit down on the sofa and watch, you know, 7 episodes of Outlander, and we will go off and fix all this for you. We'll get back to you. That's not the way it works. The way it works is it's a co-creation. You need to be in your power. You need to be in your power and ready to make a move when the guidance comes, ready to make a step in the right direction, ready. In fact, I would go so far as to say, follow your intuition is sometimes feels like taking a risk, but it's not a real risk, because there's usually nothing worse than staying stagnant, is there? Like staying stuck in the boring job that doesn't pay enough, staying in a negative relationship that pulls you down, makes you feel horrible, being stuck in you know, maybe in a town or in a location or a house like I was last year that doesn't nurture and bring out the best in you. There's nothing worse than that. And so, but your ego will try to convince you, you know, fear is stronger. What if it doesn't work out? What if it's going to be worse than what you've got? What if you fail? What if all of this is a load of hogwash and it's just, you know, airy-fairy BS that's being put out there to distract you, and it's never going to work out? You know, those are the kind of things your ego will say to you to try to keep you stuck. And if you listen to that voice rather than having faith and following your intuition, you will stay stuck. But you'll know it's not the right path for you, because stuck is a path as well. You'll know it's not the right path for you because it feels bad. It feels bad. And so if it feels bad and you can't seem to get out of that, then there's energy shifting you need to do. You need to clear the barriers. You need to do some forgiving. You need to be releasing doubts. And so that starts to, that's one huge bonus of clearing unforgiveness, is it tunes down the voice of your ego. Because if you notice when you're resenting or you're angry or you're upset about something, whether it's a situation or a person, that gets so loud. It's like the only thing that you can think about, the only thing you can pay attention to. And that's because your ego is getting fuel from the negative energy that you're creating through your thoughts. So it makes the ego louder and louder. So as we reduce the negative energy in our bodies, mind, and spirit, then the ego starts to shut up a bit, because it quietens, because it's got nothing to feed on. There's no fuel there for it. And so then you become clear. You have this beautiful crystal clarity. And even though life, you know, life will always have ups and downs. So, you know, my beautiful bear, that was a hard thing for me to go through. It's still tough, but I'm clear. So I don't have a load of negative energy attached to that. I cry when I need to, but I'm not in a mess. I'm not completely lost, because I'm clear, because I've done the work. I've done lots of work over my life, and I know you have too. So before I pull some cards, does anyone have any questions about what I've been talking about here today? The 3 F's: forgiveness, faith, and following your intuition. I'm going to be doing some programs soon about those 3 things and about raising your vibe for abundance. And don't forget that I've got the my angel retreat in the desert which is all about this. It's about releasing those barriers, letting go of those things that have been holding you back for some time. Sometimes they're unconscious. You know, a lot of people I'm working with the program are going, gosh, you know, when we start digging into the blocks to abundance, there's some beliefs in there, there's some fear, there's some incidents. Some of them are this lifetime, sometimes they're past life, not always. It's not something that is always there. Sometimes it is that those things that need to go, that have just been, you get used to them like a callus on your finger. You just sort of think, oh, it's been there forever, so it doesn't matter. But it is actually, these energies of resentment are holding you back. So, no questions. Hey, Tracy. Hi, Natalie. Welcome, welcome. So let's pull some cards from the Angels of Abundance. And, okay, I'm laughing at this one. Woo. All right. And I'm going to pull you one from the Archangel Power Tarot deck, because these are all about getting back in your power, and they're by Radley Valentine. And seriously, if you're looking for an angel deck, they are really cool. They're really good. They've got great images and great meanings on them. Anyone here got the Archangel Power Tarot deck in their collection? I know you do angel readings for yourself, some of you. So the first card that came out, which cracked me up, is Sever Vows of Poverty. So this being the first card in the reading, it's all about what's going on right now, what's going on in your past that is influencing this question. Hey, Tyler, you've got those cards. Cool. So these are the abundance cards by Grant and Doreen Virtue. And so if we're severing the vows of poverty, this is about times when you've lifetimes where you might have made a vow of poverty. Now, this is possible if you've ever had a lifetime in a monastery. Maybe you've been connected to some kind of spiritual group or cult or institution that have required in their belief system for you to deny, negate the physical material world. So sometimes it's not sinister. Sometimes it is actually, you know, something that you've chosen to do in a lifetime to learn more about spirit than the physical. But as I started this video today talking about, is that we have to, at this point in our evolution, spiritually, we are doing both. We're doing the material and the spiritual. And so as we, you know, they help each other as we cleanse them. Hey, Karen. So severing your vows of poverty. This means you are willing to release any vows of poverty you've made in any lifetime, including this one, consciously or unconsciously, where you might have said, even in this lifetime, you might have said, oh, I'm sick of money. I don't, cancel. I don't like money. I'm going to be poor forever. Even if you say it as a joke, the universe is always listening. So let's do this together. Let's release the vows of poverty. These can hold you like tethers, anchoring you into the ground, literally holding you back, because you think you're saying abundance, 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 but you've got something else. It's like trying to drive the car with the brake on, right? It doesn't work. So you're always going to be holding yourself back. So we're going to call in Archangel Michael. We're also calling in Archangel Raziel, who is the angel of spiritual understanding. He helps us with our past lives as well as our present lifetimes. So make yourself comfortable, and I just want you to imagine a beautiful white light just sitting right on the top of the crown of your head. Take a deep breath and just consciously relax your shoulders, your jaw, make your arms relaxed. If you're holding on to any tension in your stomach, just breathe, let your waist relax out. Loosen anything that might be tight, uncross your legs. Give your ankles a bit of a stretch and just allow your legs to grow heavy. And I want you to imagine that this white light is just bathing through you. It's just seeping through your whole body. It's connecting with every muscle, every cell, every bone, every fiber of your being. And because this is divine and holy light, it has the ability to reach you on every level. So it's going through your energy levels, the levels of your aura, your emotions, your physical body, your spiritual body, your energy on every level. Feel it coming into your heart, and take a deep breath and allow it greater access. Just slide your ego out of the way for a moment. Relax into the light. Relax. Let your mind relax. And we're just going to breathe 3 breaths. 1. Getting even more relaxed. 2. Feeling the white light, awakening your consciousness, relaxing your body, purifying you on every level. And 3, you're ready to release. You're disconnected from anything outside of yourself. And make the conscious decision to release any vows of poverty, denial of abundance, fear of abundance, any ways in which you push money, prosperity, abundance, good health, good things away from you. And be willing to undo any vows, any contracts in all directions of space and time that you might have made, known or unknown, doesn't matter if you remember or you don't. That you're now ready to welcome abundance into your life. That this lifetime, in this moment, that you are recognizing yourself as both a physical being and a spiritual being. And you're recognizing that abundance is part of the divine will for you. You're living a material life, so you actually need to be materially supported. And we no longer hunt for our food and forage. We now use the energy of money, which is a symbol for energy, to exchange for the things that we need and the things that we desire. And we know that there is unlimited abundance and that there is no shame in receiving abundance. And Archangel Michael is working, I'm seeing him working down the front of your body, particularly around the throat chakra, some of you your head chakra, and he's lifting off shackles, energies that, that may be over your body, over your chakras, that are linked to these lifetimes where you may have denounced money or made vows not to allow yourself any or to keep yourself poor. So just in your mind, I'm willing to release all vows, all shackles, or energies that are keeping me linked to poverty. I'm willing to release poverty and allow abundance. Ooh, I'm getting lots of energy flooding in for you. And those energies are being lifted from you, transmuted to the light, taken out of the room. Please transmute them immediately to the light. Archangel Michael, thank you. And Archangel Raziel is holding his hands over your head. You might feel a flooding of energy coming down through your body. And he's correcting all thoughts and ideas, energies and beliefs that you have created, made, inherited, accepted, that have kept you in a state of stuckness, limitation, scarcity. Even maybe you've kind of hit a ceiling and you can't seem to get past it. Release any beliefs you have about money being bad or not spiritual or something. And remember that when you have more and you feel more fulfilled, you have more to share with others. So you get less caught up in the drama of scarcity because you're less distracted and you can turn your mind to helping other people and being of service and doing your life purpose. So releasing all beliefs. And Archangel Michael's just whispering to me that there's actually some people here that believe that what they do for a living or what they want to do for a living isn't a prosperous living. And so that's actually limiting them too. So I want you to feel that energy sliding off of you. And breathe and release, because you have to be open to the infinite opportunities and possibilities. And if you limit yourself to one idea, you're only allowing that idea to manifest. So if you believe in poverty, you'll manifest it. And angels, please help us to heal poverty, not only for ourselves and amongst ourselves, but for others around the world too, in a way that is healthy, in integrity, loving, and sharing, because we're coming back to a time on the planet where we are compassionate and share what we have rather than hoarding and disempowering others to get what we want. Beautiful. I'm seeing some cords coming out from your solar plexus, and I'm seeing vows of poverty like being broken like sticks, like as if they're written on pieces of wood and you're just cracking them and they're going up out of the ceiling. Thank you, angels, for helping us. And they're surrounding you with golden light. So see yourself and hold the space for prosperity, for unlimited prosperity. Okay, I'm going for it today. It's a longer session. So well done, everybody. Take a deep breath, wriggle your fingers a little bit, shake it out. The angels are still with you. Kathy's saying she drew that card last week. Yay, Kathy. So that might be something that's really strong for you. We can explore that. So the second card in this reading was your guidance card. Detox your friendships. What comes to mind? What comes to mind? What's the first thought that you have when you hear this? Detox your friendships, detox your relationships. It might mean that you have to actually talk to your friends and say, look, I don't want to have these conversations anymore. Judgment, gossip, talking about how bad things are for us. I want to talk about positive things. Or you might need to actually cut the cords and let go of a few people. You can cut cords with people you don't want to let go of. It actually improves the relationship too. So your abundance flow is possibly being affected by some of the people that you're hanging out with. So and it could be people that you're hanging out with online as well. So if I see people writing about moany stuff too much, I mean, we're all entitled to a vent every now and then, but if you vent online, you're actually spreading, it's like wildfire. You're just creating things really quickly. So I tend to unfollow people, not because I don't love them, but because I don't want to expose myself to that vibration, because it's like a virus, you catch it. So be discerning with your relationships. Be discerning with the people that you choose to hang out with, the people that you choose to share your dreams and hopes with as well. And, try to surround yourself with people, at least in some life areas, with people who are generous, who have an abundance mindset. And then we have a beautiful card as an outcome, which is the partnership card. So this can be a sign that you need to work in partnership with someone, like a joint venture in a business venture, or maybe you get a study buddy where you start to study the laws of attraction, abundance, join up on my Rich Radiant Angel Manifesting group, which is a free group on Facebook. I'll put the link on the bottom of the description of this video. So this is about allowing healthy, supportive people into your life and your career, and you benefit from connecting with them. So this could be a coach, it could be a healer, it could be someone, like I said, a study buddy, someone who inspires you. But it's about working together to clear the blocks and create what it is that you want. And sometimes light workers can feel weak or guilty for calling out for help from people. It's ridiculous. Like we're all one, we're all meant to be in this together. You can also call on your angels to help you. But I really get the feeling with this one is it's actually a person who can help you with your abundance. So it's working in partnership. There's a lot to be said, even if you really know a lot about healing or clearing, or we tend to want to do it all by ourselves. Is a lot to be said sometimes for someone being to hold space for you, a witness, a facilitator, but also someone who can mirror back some things that you might be missing. We've all got stuff we're blind to, and that's because it's hidden, because we wouldn't be doing it if we'd all be, soaring if we knew everything that was going on within us. So sometimes working with another person, they can reflect back at you some of the things that you might be doing to block yourself. Hey, Francis, you'd like to see, okay, Tracy wants to see the partnership card again. Whoops. There you go. So I love the way the angel there is And look, someone talked to me this week about a harp coming up as a symbol. So harp shows up obviously a lot with the angels, but harp is a symbol of peace and harmony. But you know, playing music is an awesome way for manifesting money. Okay, and our final card is the Justice card. I'm going to go real quick with this one. It can be about court cases. It can be about not giving up. It can be about going for justice. But I really feel in this instance, I often just read the pictures. This is about bringing your life back into balance. You know, everything changes when you bring your life into balance, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally. If you're too focused on the material world, it sometimes will shut down, and it forces you to come into a more spiritual perspective. So it's about having both in your life. So no worries, Rena, you can watch the replay. The replay will be up in about 10 minutes. Thanks so much, everybody. If you've got any questions, just post them here. I've gone a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's okay. And this will be available on my website later. And if you haven't already signed up for my newsletter, you get 2 free meditations as soon as you sign up. But you will get this video and a written article every week on a Monday to your inbox, so you don't have to go searching for it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful week ahead. And I'll see you next Monday. Angel blessings.